Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an AMX Canon Dassault. It's the Tier 8 French Premium Tank Destroyer. It's located on the North Spawn of Mines and it's under the command of Beowulf 19K30. And as you know, he's an actual tanker. He really does do the job, and his tank is the Abrams. Game on! Well, it's a 105mm gun mounted in a hull from AMX. It was developed in 1958, but development was discontinued and there was no prototypes. It's capable of 390 Alpha and will penetrate 216mm of armor with standard APCR. With the heat rounds, it'll go up to 310mm. Oh, he gets a hit on his first shot on the Progetto 46. Strips away 410, it was a high roll. Now this little tank destroyer is quite nippy, it's got a fairly fast fire rate. By the book it's 11.03, but in actual fact you can see here Beowulf's got it down to 9.14. Of course he probably is using a rammer, maybe vents, and a decent crew. He's got a view range of 360 meters. Now that's not a huge amount actually, it's fairly small. Well, at least he can cope with it anyway. The enemy doesn't appear to be trying to get into the hill now, so I think the best thing he can do is get into a position so he can actually start attacking the enemy tanks. The problem with this tank though is it doesn't have much armour. In fact it's relatively weak. 100mm at the front, 40 at the sides, 30 at the rear. And he was spotted there, but the enemy didn't manage to get a shot on him in time. Okay, he's decided to attack the tanks that are coming up the east side of the map. And yes, we've got a target there, but he did see us. And yes, he did put a round into us. We lost 473. It's the Wizzy 114. Okay, looks like the SU-152 is now going to go. The ISU-152, I should say. Okay, there's a Skoda T56 sitting down there at the back. Odd place for a Skoda. Nice shot. Low roll, 337. We lost sight of him. I think that's because we can't see him at the moment, though, because he's probably hiding behind the rock. There's the Bosch. Low roll again. I mean, we've been spotted, so we have to pull back. Now, Bosch is a tier 10. Skoda was a tier 8. Now, this tank really does have excellent mobility for a tank destroyer. It's also very good at stealth, although he was spotted there. The accuracy and aim time are quite good, and it's got high shell velocity as well, 1,525, which is basically point and shoot if you can get a target in your sights. The bad point is, as I said, it's the armour. It's very thin. It's got low hit points to start with. It's only 1,000 hit points in total, and it's got limited gun traverse. It's only 10 degrees either side of the centre line, giving you a 20 degree arc. The fire rate is a little underwhelming for a 105mm gun. You'd expect it to be a little higher, but it's something you adapt to over time. Well, the enemy's really suffering in this game because they've lost 4 tanks more than we have. But we just can't see them at the moment. They're all hiding. There's a T110E4 there. Looks like our Wizzy 114's having a go at him. And he is losing hit points. There's another T110 actually making his way up the east side of the map. And oh, there's the Skoda. Popped into view, we've got his rear. Nice shot. That got close to the engine bay, but we were seen because we were way too close to the bushes. Luckily there's no Arty in this game, so we can sit up here without fear of getting hit so long as we can get out of the way of their guns. They've lost 5 tanks now. Well, 5 tanks more than us. That's That's quite a big handicap. And they just lost another one, a T110E5. There's an AMX50B on the east side. I was just thinking he might be able to get shots into that guy, because he's not getting much here at the moment. I think he's suddenly realised that. Yes, he's noticed that there's an AMX50B down there. That's another tier 10. Of course, it's a tier. The AMX CDA is a tier 8, so for every tier 10 he hits, he's getting 20% extra on his XP. Oh, 268 just took a big hit. Oh, there's the Foch. And the Scorpion G. He's got a shot. Oh, he snatched that a bit. But the Scorpions come back. Okay. No, well, he blind fired that. Now, you can hit the T103. You can actually Pendros. Looks like our teammates are jockeying for the right position to actually get a shot. Jagdtiger. Oh, and that was unfortunate, because I'm not sure if that shell actually... Well, it actually hit the wreck. It was the Chrysler wreck that took the round. For a second, I thought it would hit one of our teammates. You don't really want to hit your teammates in a battle like this, but... Okay, there's the Foch. There's the T103. Have we got a shot on him? No, we haven't. And there's the Skoda. Is he poking out the rear? No, the Skoda's gone. T103 is a one-shot. The AMX 50 is actually now... Well, he's trying to attack our Hawk 30 on the east side. The Hawk 30, well, he's got very thin armor. He's a light tank. And he just took a big hit, and he's out of the game. But now we're trying to have a go at the AMX, and I think he may be unloaded now, because he's an autoloader. Is he unloaded? Well, it looks like he's fired all his rounds, and that's him out of the game. And it was a high roll as well. And he just got a thank you as well from the Object 268. So he just killed a tier 10. There's only two enemies left. It's the Foch 155 and the Jagdtiger. He's also got a fair decent amount of hit points now. 2,725 so far collected. Oh, the barrel of that gun is actually getting in the way a bit. But it didn't matter, because it was a wreck and he did get the kill. Or did he? No, he didn't. I'm wrong. I had a Jingles moment there. Okay, Foch 155, thank you. Yes! Kill! And that wins the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Beowulf 19K30 in the AMX Canon Dassault 105. He managed to get a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits, in fact he got 7, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. On top of that, he got a rather rare medal here, because he got a Halonen's medal, and you have to kill at least 2 enemy tanks or tank destroyers in a battle with a tank destroyer, and they have to be at least 2 tiers higher to get that medal. So it is fairly difficult to get one of these, because it means you're killing something that's considerably more powerful than your tank. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage in the game. That actually went to the AMX50B that he took out with 5,327 hit points. Second highest was the Object 277 on his own team with 3,704. And the third highest damage in that game went to the Scorpion G on the enemy team, 3,569. Beowulf managed 3,389, so he wasn't a slouch. He was doing a lot of damage to the enemy. When it came to basics, to kills though, he actually came joint second because the Scorpion managed to get 3 kills. Then the Heshbon, the 277, his CDA, the STG Guard, and the AMX50B, the Foch on the enemy team, and their Team 103 all got 2 kills apiece. When it came to base XP, it was Beowulf who did the best because he was not only spotting, he was doing damage as well. 1,336 to him, 1,176 to the Hawk 30, 1,072 to the Object 277. He fired 13 rounds in that game, got 10 direct hits on the enemy and 9 penetrations. 3,389 hit points of damage, of which 1,942 were at more than 300 meters. He received 1 hit. It was a penetrating shot. Yes, that came from, I think if I remember correctly, it was the Wizzy 114. Yes, a big hit. 3 enemy vehicles spotted, 6 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, 1,334 hit points of spotting assist. He earned 74,214 credits from the game, and after repair and ammunition resupply took away 78,393 credits profit. He got 1,336 XP times 2 for the first victory, 200 for this being a premium vehicle, took away 4,280 experience points altogether. So a nice little battle in the CDA. It's a fairly difficult tank to play well, mainly because it's so lacking in armour. And well, I did say that its fire rate is okay, it's reasonable, you just have to get used to it. But it's the lacking of armour that really can be the problem, because anything that touches it is more than likely going to go through, and I'll show that in the armour profile now. Okay, this is the armour profile. You can see the armour is fairly light. You're looking at the front, impacted armour 80mm, you're getting 126 effective because it's slightly angled. Lower plate, well, it's very, very well angled down there. 30mm impacted armour, but you're actually getting 93 because it's so well angled. But just look at the top of the armour here. 100mm impacted armour, but with the raking, the very high angle, you've got actual effective armour of 206 on those parts. If we look at the top bit where these tanks are normally fairly weak for the viewports, you can see impacted armour 80, so that's what the actual armour is, and the effective armour actually goes up as high as 120, but the cupola is, well, it's 100mm showing, but it's 80 there right on the viewports, with effective armour of 132. On the sides, very weak indeed, 40mm on the side, not angled at all, it's just straight as you can see, which is not very good. And if you look at the rear, even though that's raked there, 15mm of impacted armour, it's actually effective armour of 20mm, so not so great at the rear, fairly easy to pen, sides fairly easy to pen, front, well, you can pen it on that upper plate there, 70mm with 121 effective, but it's this area that you're actually stronger, or near the gun, where the gun is. I suppose you could try and put a round in directly above the gun to try and get a shot, but you're more than likely going to get a ricochet because the angle of that armour is quite acute, as you can see here. Let's have a look at modules. Okay, this is the module view for that tank. You can see right at the front of the vehicle there's a fuel tank. That's the most odd place to put a fuel tank. You'd expect it normally to be at the rear. And in fact, actually, if you turn the tank around and look at the rear, you can see there's the transmission, there's the engine, and you've got fuel tanks either side. That's the more conventional arrangement of a fuel tank. But in this one, you've got a fuel tank right behind the front plate. Well, that means you're probably going to get a few fires and or fuel leaks or tanks punctured if the enemy does go straight through that armour. Also, as you can just about make it out, there are ammo racks everywhere in this vehicle. Directly along the side there, there's the driver sitting in right next door to an ammo rack, and just in front of him is an ammo rack as well. And going transversely across the vehicle, if I can make the camera go round, there you've got another ammo rack going from his seat over to the left hand side of the vehicle as you're looking at it. On the other side of the vehicle, on the left hand side, you've got the gunner, and directly behind him is the TC, and he's got the radio set right next door to him, so he doubles up as the radio operator. You can see another ammo rack is sitting right next door to the gunner, and you can see that the loader, if If I pull it round, there he is. He's on the right hand side, sitting behind or standing behind the gunner. So another odd place to put the loader on this vehicle. Normally it's the aimer or the gunner is actually sitting right next door to the gun. Well, he is, but he's on the left hand side, and they put the loader at the back on this side. Another ammo rack is on the top of the rear of the vehicle. So again, if you're aiming to try and get an ammo rack, your best place to actually aim is the rear of the vehicle here, just above the engine. If you go too low, you'll probably get a fire or at least a damaged engine. But if you can aim it just a little bit higher, you'll get the ammo rack there. And I think that was the ready rack. And if it's not, then this would be the ready rack on the right hand side, right next door to the loader. So a very odd arrangement for the modules. But, well, this was a discontinued development. There were no prototypes, so they wouldn't have realised that this was actually quite a bad place to put everything. But there you go. So if you want to take one of these out, the best place to aim is the lower plate. If you can get a shell through there, you might hit the fuel tanks. If not, then aim for either the rear, if you can get it through the rear here, or you can always aim for that shoulder area where you might get either the loader, the driver, or the ammo rack. And of course, you can always aim for that cupola and try and take out the tank commander. And if you aim just a little bit lower, a little more difficult to get the shot in there, but you will get the gunner. And that's all the modules. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below. And just to let you know as well that what Arty Noobs is now donating all the proceeds from this channel to the Red Cross Ukrainian appeal. We're going to be continuing to do that whilst Russia occupies Ukraine, and ensure that the refugees and all the people in Ukraine are being given support and any assistance by the Red Cross that we can get them. So please do watch as many videos you can on our channel, because the more you watch our channel, the more videos you watch, the more revenue you earn for the Red Cross appeal. Thanks for watching.